It's Thursday. Thursday something. It's Thursday here at just about noon. So I can still say good morning. It was just before noon when I popped in. Um, just waiting to see who wants to join me. There has been a lot of anxiety as I've been watching people post, and I know I'm experiencing it also. So we're going to try to work through anxiety today. So today is all about anti-anxiety. There are ways to work our way through this ascension. It's difficult. It is a difficult time. And there is a lot of anxiety in the collective consciousness. We're in a new moon period too. So that requires a lot of releasing. And I think the biggest thing that I can say is most of our anxiety comes from holding on too tightly. So we're going to work on letting go a little bit today. Me too. Me too. I need it. I did not sleep last night. It's often us deciding if this is our anxiety or if this is the collective consciousness or a combination of all of the above. So I'm going to see if we can't get some things loosened up today. So I'm waiting for my little entourage, my little group of soldiers that want to join me today. I named it Calling All Cinderellas or something like that because I'm into a whole fairy tale phase today. So this will be fun. It'll be story time in a few minutes. So I hope that you'll stay with me as we start to gather. There's two. We're starting to pull in. Come on in. Let's tell some stories. Let's be easy together today. I think that sometimes when we allow all of the anxieties of this physical body to take over, we need a little bit of help. Hi, Laura. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning to you still, right? I think that oftentimes when we're stuck in these emotions, they start to fester. They kind of start having a party inside of us. We talked about that yesterday or one of these days about how those negative things that we start to feel, they can start calling in friends. And so that's where the anxiety comes up. There's that, and there's also that higher self, that part of you that is accessible always, and the ego. And when the ego and the higher self choose to not agree with each other, then we'll often see some anxiety. It's like this argument going on inside of us. So let's see if we can clear some of that away today. I already said it once. There's a lot of anxiety when I look at other people's posts. A lot of people are really struggling right now. So I realize that this too is another one of our ascension symptoms. Or I tend to think that it's more of a well, it's a combination. It's definitely an ascension symptom because we're kind of squeezing through the birth canal through a change right now. So it's almost the whole world is kind of going through this squeezing process. Everyone that's on the planet feels that anxiety as we're being squeezed through into something brand new. And it brings us to this place. Hi, Tammy. Who else is up there? So it brings us through to this place of a weird sensation inside. This tightness, this anxiety, this fear of the unknown, what's going on. We don't really understand where we're going and what's happening right now. And all of us, no matter how hard we work at this, we're feeling the collective consciousness too that is going through a whole lot of anxiety and fear right now. So we can't help but be affected by all of this stuff that's going on around us. So I'm here with you. I'm right in the trenches with you. I know what it's like to feel that anxiety. I know what it's like to lay awake at night and one thing after another. And the craziest things for me last night, it wasn't even my stuff. I was thinking about anything instead of just finding peace. I even put on this great meditation that was supposed to relieve anxiety and as you sleep. And as this person, she was wonderful. She had a great voice and she was talking and she just kept talking as I was trying to go to sleep, talking, releasing this and releasing that. And every time she was saying anything, instead of me feeling that release of energy, it was like made me think, oh, what about that? Oh, what about this? What about that? So it's a really wild time to be alive. And we're really, really being affected by it. And the ego is playing games and calling in the party, isn't it? It's calling in. Good morning, Deborah. Afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm always trying to think of where you're coming in from. So it's not just my timeline. It's wherever you are on the planet that I try to remember. It causes me a lot of strain. So I'm glad that you joined me because my big question is today is who is feeling the anxiety today? The world just seems to be loaded full of it. Loaded. So we're going to go into a nice, quiet, like fairy tale time. I'm all about the fairy tales today. It's the two sides of me. The one side of me is feeling very, very anxious, having a hard time breathing. Trying to get I had that crazy vaccine 2 days ago, and I don't know if it's my fear that's affecting me, because I do have I've worked my way through most of the fear, but I do feel some like anxiety relating to that. So that's part of me. So that's my physical part. I also just feel as if a lot of this is the collective consciousness and all the fear that's going on the planet. There sure is a lot of that too. So for you guys that are joining me today, let's work our way through some of this anxiety. This morning, the two sides of me were the one side is the fear and the anxious. And I've been working through something I was watching and listening to that was really amazing. And it was talking about how our emotions get stuck in the past. Our emotions are stuck in experiences that we have already experienced. And yet we can fall right back into that place of that emotion at any point. Our brains like to start playing out that movie screen again. Do you do that? You're like, oh no, I've worked on that. I'm in really good shape. That doesn't stress me out anymore. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh gosh, where did this come from? Why am I hurting? Why am I having stress? It's still lodged someplace inside of you. And I still have things lodged inside of me too. So we want to continue to work at releasing those energies that get stopped up inside of us, that are just stuck. Because if we can't work through those emotions, my procrastination to get ready for graduation for my kiddos, prepare my house, and celebration. Isn't that crazy that we have all this anxiety from things that are supposed to be really exciting, happy events, and we create this anxiety. And the beautiful thing is that no matter what, even if everything isn't perfect, Laura, you're going to end up having a beautiful time. Your family's going to enjoy the time, and it's going to be okay. But like all the rest of us, when we get anxious or we get worried or we think we don't have enough time, how many times do you go, your day's going along pretty good, and then all of a sudden you look at the clock and you're like, oh my gosh, I am late. And then you start trying to go faster and faster. And that anxiety, that rush that you get your body into actually causes you to drop everything, to trip over stuff, to forget stuff, to keep having hold up after hold up after hold up, when you could say, you know what, yeah, I put it off for a while, but it's okay because it's all going to come together so easily. See, that anxiety, I find it dissipates when I allow myself to go, you know what, it doesn't have to be difficult. Just because in the past I've had to try to put things together that felt really difficult for me because I had myself in the wrong place, and it was so much work and it was so exhausting, and I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I got to do that again. And as I'm doing that, I'm recreating the energy that I went through on that other event that got me so stressed out, instead of my looking at this newness. This experience now, this current experience has nothing to do with those old experiences where things didn't come together just right. Has nothing to do with it. I have stepped into new energy. I'm brand new. But that old emotion is still stuck inside of me, creating this anxiety, this fear that it's all going to recreate itself again. Exactly, Laura. So I think maybe it's you, you and me. We're just getting that reminder today. Relax. It's all going to be okay. When you relax, when you get centered and grounded, you will find that the pieces of the puzzle fall together. You barely even have to work at it. Allowing for those people that pop up and say, hey, I'd like to help you with that. Okay, come on in. Because when we're all stressed out, we're just pushing everybody away. We're trying to do it all by ourselves. And we just make it such a huge chore instead of just saying, hey, guys, you know what? You could help me with this. Good morning, Rebecca. Good afternoon, wherever you are. So, changing the filter. Again, we're talking more about changing that filter so that we can relieve some of this crazy anxiety. It's wild. And it's like being fed. It's like one thing might be the trigger point for creating that anxiety. One old memory, one piece of stopped up energy that's inside of me, because we are all energy. When our energy flows, we don't experience those emotions that that are so uncomfortable. When we get into that flow and we let our energy flow and we keep those energy centers within us free and clear of blocked up energy, stuck emotions, then everything begins to flow again. And everything just comes together. You're like so surprised. You're like, wow, I thought that was going to be such a huge job. I put it off. I thought, wow, I don't really want to have to, and I kept putting it off and putting it off. And then one day I just said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Just going to do this and I'm going to get it done. And on that day I had the right filter on and I was like Wonder Woman and everything just came together so perfectly. It's all about rewiring the brain, isn't it? The brain is such a muddled up mess. It really is. The brain gets a hold of all of these things, these old things that are really done. They're gone. We don't have to experience them anymore. And yet the brain will just keep replaying. It's like reruns going. Old reruns, Brady Bunch, just playing over and over and over in your brain. How many of us watch reruns? All of us. That was before we had the internet, before we could watch new shows and we could binge watch, and we had to watch, especially in the afternoon after school, we would watch reruns. And oftentimes it'd be like, oh, I remember this one. I remember that one. And we just sit there and watch it. Because for whatever reason, we thought we had nothing better to do. That's really what the brain always does. It has a rerun station. It likes to just play, what's that station that plays all the old shows? It likes to just keep on replaying the past over and over again. Even though you've already passed that test, it'll just keep feeding you the information for the test. You've already passed it. You don't need to do that again. You've already graduated. It's done. We don't need to keep replaying the past, replaying all of these reruns in our head. So the first step is really recognizing that we're doing it, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, I'm not that person anymore. And yet, quality TV lessons, exactly. My sister and I were really into Starsky and Hutch reruns. Little House on the Prairie. I watched that a billion times, and Brady Bunch. Yeah, I had a favorites that I would watch over and over and over again. But my brain is ready for some newness. My body, this reality that I live in now, it's all brand new. I'm not back there anymore. I don't need to hang out in that place of drama. All those things that whatever could go wrong did go wrong, it seemed like when I was young. I'm done with that. I'm ready for this flow of life to get into that river and just let myself just go tubing on down. Get yourself an inner tube and just see yourself tubing on down the river, and everything that you've ever wanted, and you're just picking it up along the way as it goes. You're like, yep, I got that. Just grab it. It's floating around in the water and you're just picking it up. You don't have to swim to it. You don't have to paddle. You don't have to work. It just comes along. It's there for the taking because you've asked for it and you have received it. The only reason why many of us like to paddle upstream is because we are still stuck in an old paradigm of struggle. We're still stuck in the idea that everything is supposed to be difficult. Do you think like that? You're like, well, it's always been this way. It's always going to be this way. And I'll play that out in my brain until I step out of physical form. And then all of a sudden I'll remember who I am. Or the flip side of that is maybe I can work harder on releasing that thought process now so that I can just float. See myself floating down the river and knowing that all of those things, they're just going to come to me easily. I don't have to swim so hard. I don't have to paddle. So I hope somebody's hearing that. It had nothing to do with what I thought we were going to talk about today. Truly, it had a little bit to do with what I'm going through, but it came through for whoever needed it today. Yeah, learning to not stay exactly, because we get to that place. Laura, I'm so glad you're here today. Rebecca, everything is going to be all right. We come to that place where suddenly we remember. We don't even have to remember everything that we are. We don't have to go to, it's a lot. So knowing what you really are, who you really are, takes our physical body some time to adjust to that idea. But just little bits and pieces, knowing that you have more control over this, knowing that you don't have to hold on so tightly, knowing that everything is going to be okay, that there are bigger powers at play here, that you're not all alone in this, that you don't need to just try to struggle and, wow, gosh, I remember those days when I was so alone, trying so hard to figure out how to take care of everybody. And that is still stuck inside of me. I still spend my days trying to figure out how to take care of everybody. And if I don't have enough people in my world to take care of already, I'll go search them out. Literally. I'm checking out Facebook all the time, and somebody says, I need some help with this. And I'm like, okay, just call me. Let's do it. You know, like I haven't figured out how yet to put myself into the equation because I've been so busy all my life with 6 children, single mom, sick, dying husband, all of these things that I've been through. I haven't figured out how to stop, how to get off of that hamster wheel yet fully. Now there's times when I'm pretty good, but not fully. I still jump back on the hamster wheel. I still get back into that area of constantly counting my duckies, constantly looking to see who's not okay, who's hurting, who needs this, who needs that, instead of going, shh. What is it the dog whisperer says? Shh. Stop. Have you taken care of you yet today? Nope. Maybe you should do that first. Isn't that the one thing that most of us moms don't do? We hit the ground running. We start taking care of people. And we forget that we need care. Because when we give ourselves that time first, it might be just that quiet cup of tea sitting out on the patio listening to the birds. Putting on something, doing a little music, a little dancing, maybe some meditation, definitely some meditation, a little yoga, taking a walk, go hugging a tree, whatever you need to do, whatever brings you back into that centered, grounded, beautiful place. Turning off all of those worries and concerns for a little while. Sometimes I just want to turn it down. See myself taking that dial and just turn it down, turn down the noise level and everything that's going on around me for a little bit so that I can come back to me and take care of me. And then, yeah, perfect. Music. You get that music, it's like my favorite thing. It's so nourishing to me to find just the right song. I spend a lot of time looking for just the right songs. And when I find one, I'll spend hours. I drive my kids insane because I'll play it over and over and over again until the message finally hits home. And I know what I was trying to get from that song. And then I'll start the search for another one. Music speaks. So do the trees, nature, that water coming down the stream. I record it often if you haven't noticed, because as I sit there by that water, I'm watching the way the sun is hitting and it's flickering around and it's creating this beautiful pattern, light language. I'm like, oh, look, is anybody else seeing what I'm seeing? And the sound of the water coming down as I close my eyes is so comforting. And as I sit on that rock and I'm feeling that earth energy come up through, just through the whole energy body, I'm renewed. And all that anxiety is gone. I don't even know where it went. You know, do you ever have that where you're such a shift in energy? 1 second, you're just stressed out and feeling kind of off, really off. And the next second, you take that moment to sit down and be in stillness for yourself, not thinking about anybody else, just being still. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, it's all okay. It's all okay. That's where you find it again. That's where you find that peace. So, reminding you of that today. I promised at the beginning. Listen. See if it does it again. There's a bird right outside. There's a tree branch right outside my window, and they like to come down and just sing to me right there. So I'll often just sit there and listen. What are they trying to tell me? I'm all about the fairy tales this morning. I promised at the beginning of this for anyone that wants to stick around. I was thinking about Cinderella. I was thinking how my life, back 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, almost 5 years since he got sick, right around September, October of 2016, I started walking through the trees, walking that big old silly dog that's still downstairs waiting for another walk. And I would put my earbuds in, speaking of music, Laura, and I listened to fairy tale music. over and over and over again, all the time. Which one is it that comes from? It's got John McLaughlin is the one that sings it. So close. So close. It comes from Enchanted. One of my favorite movies with Patrick Dempsey. I love that movie so much. And I would listen to that song over and over again. And sometimes I would see Steve just come through the trees, or I'd feel the electricity. I'd feel him there with me, and it was pure magic. Little baby fox, a mama fox would be laying there playing by the road with her little babies. And the deer would just, I'd be walking along and I'd look up and there'd be a deer just standing there staring at me. And I'd see rabbits and and it was like, wow, I just stepped right into a fairy tale, literally. Because I'm playing the music, I created the energy of this beautiful fairy tale and I was going. I was going into it for sure. And I'd only go so far and then I'd end up back home again and my stressful life would continue, but I was okay because I had that. Well, 4 years ago, I dreamt of, and you've heard this story before, I dreamt of this little storybook cottage at the base of a mountain where Prince Charming was waiting for me. And I look at my life now and I have this beautiful stone. Everybody in town, when people pass by this house, they call it the Storybook Cottage because it's made of all of these rocks, these stones. The outside of it is pure, beautiful stone that comes out of the mountains. And it just sits here. And right back there, as we're climbing up into the mountains, right where I am, it's on the hill that goes up into the mountains. It's right at the base of a mountain. And when I walk out a little bit further, about 1.5 miles to the cabin that Steve and I used to hang out at, where I put his ashes, I feel his energy. I feel him as I walk through those trees. I feel that magic and that storybook. And when I got here, the person that was waiting for me, I come in and I meet him, and he's tall, and he's like, God, he's so practical. Such a good person, such a good human. And it wasn't, let's see, I moved in beginning of March, more than 2 months, and he and I were dating. And I know that because of the kind of person, the kind, big-hearted person that he is the Prince Charming that Steve brought to me. And I have the 3 bears walking around my yard all the time. And I often in my life have felt like Cinderella, where I've just been taking care of everybody else all the time. And I can fall into Cinderella role all the time. And I'm realizing that Cinderella didn't stay in that place of slaving around and taking care of everyone else. There was a point, if we rewrite Cinderella, the story, go with me here, okay? If we rewrite that book, imagine that Cinderella, one day, she woke up. That's all. Her world didn't really change. It's just that one day she went, oh. The little bell went off, ding, 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 and she said, wait a minute. I'm not just this girl that should be slaving around taking care of everyone else. I deserve a better life. I'm more than just this. And when she did, she called in an angel, a fairy godmother. And that fairy godmother came in and changed her life, opened up the door to her. She woke up and realized that she wasn't all by herself. She realized that father that she thought was long gone was still close by. She realized that she had so much more and that she could live out a dream, a beautiful dream. And that's when her whole life changed, because she began to create from a different filter. You, me, all of us create all the time. We're creating from whatever filter that we choose. We can create from that Cinderella filter where we're in rags and we're out scrubbing the floor and doing everything for everyone else. Or we can change our filter to realize that we deserve to be the queen, that we deserve to be treated with absolute unconditional love, respected, admired, whatever it is. We deserve the fairy tale. We deserve not just the fairy tale. We deserve the happily ever after, the pumpkins that turn into beautiful chariots. And that, what was it, a rat that turned into the beautiful white steed. And Prince Charming waiting, finding you and knowing that you are the perfect fit. And that he is the perfect fit if that's what you choose. Or you can choose to be on your own, and that's okay too, because you find that love inside of you. Whatever it is, but magic can exist in this lifetime. That magic and that fairy tale, it rolls out before us when we allow it, when we create it. We have been creating for a long time, many lifetimes. And in this lifetime alone, imagine, little bird, imagine everything that you've created already. From your daydreams, from the time you were a little girl, little boy, and you started creating these beautiful creations of that you doodled and you daydreamed and you saw yourself in a castle far, far away. Where did you see yourself as a child? What did you create when you were very young and very powerful? Because we're at our most powerful when we're very young. That's the truth. We forget our power as we grow older. We're taught not to believe in fairy tales. We're taught that there are no fairies. There's no fairy godmothers. There's no magic. And because we're taught that, we just slowly let go of our abilities and our magic. And so I'm reminding you today, start remembering who you are. To remember that those daydreams, those fairy tales, those things that you have been creating, beautiful, beautiful puzzles of creation, that all of this doodles and all of that time that you spent, it wasn't a waste. You were creating. And your life is now unfolding before you from your creations. So are you going to create from what the wicked stepsisters say you are? Or are you going to create from who you really are? That beautiful, magical, powerful higher self that you are. The one that I tell you, listen to me. You are that fairy tale princess, or whatever else, the warrior princess, or whoever else that you always saw yourself to be. The most amazing imagination of, let's see if I can word this properly, whatever it was that you saw yourself being. Imagine now, think back to what it was when you were very young. No matter what else was going on around you, you imagined yourself as something. We all do this. We all think, oh, but maybe I was just switched at birth. I did. That's what I said. I was definitely switched at birth. As a queen or a princess, I should be a princess in a castle. What did you think that you were? This is my fairy tale. It's what I'm creating. What are you? What were you when you were very small? Think about it. Create from that place. Create any kind of story that you want to create and enjoy it as often as you possibly can. And I'm telling you what, it does unfold before us. The only thing that puts the evil sorceress in my path, or that devious bad guy, if I was thinking better, I'd come up with better words. The only thing that brings those negative, more difficult experiences into my world, that's me. I'm the one that's allowing them in. I'm the one that's creating them as I rewrite my story. I'm letting lower vibrational experiences in. And so I consciously choose. Consciously, I'm going to choose to rewrite that story. Athlete, perfect, Laura. What are you going to be now? What do you want to be? You want to be an athlete? Start walking hard first and then start running. Start working yourself. What kind of athlete do you want to be now? How do you want to recreate your life? Do you want to continue to let somebody else write your story? Because most of us do. We're not writing our own story. We're just letting everyone else do it for us. Passive. You're the passive creator. You just let everyone else do for you. As you make their lives a better place, they choose for you the life that you're living. Yeah, spend the time, Laura. Take the time. Take the time to really figure out. That's the most beautiful thing, is that when we don't know who we are, we don't know what we want to be, we're still alive. I know you think, oh, I had to figure that out back when I was 16 years old. No, you didn't. Maybe you did. Maybe you figured something out when you were 16. It doesn't matter if you're 99. If you're still breathing and still in physical form, you have the opportunity to recreate yourself. So if you, back when you were young, you wanted to be something, And then life came and took it all away from you. I was a very young mom, and I was a mom for a long time. I have a child who's 30 and I have a child who's 14, and I have every other age in the middle. Literally, I have 6 of them. I've been taking care of everyone my whole life. It's very difficult for me to say now that, okay, guess what? I'm still here. I can still create my fairy tale, my happily ever after. And every day it's a recreation. We don't have to try to figure out how we're going to be where we want to be in 10 years. I know everybody thinks you got to. It's okay if that's still the way you think. But I'm here in this moment, right now. It's all I've got. And in this moment, what do I need to do to make my life the fairy tale that I desire? And then in the next moment, I create the energy of my fairy tale again. And in the next moment, and in the next moment. And I don't let anyone take it away from me anymore. No evil villains coming in taking my fairy tale anymore. I choose to be in joy and in bliss. I choose. And whatever else happens, it happens, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. When I stay in that place of bliss, I find that all the rest of the pieces fall into place so much more easier. So much more easier. Is that correct English? So much more easily. Something. So create your story today. That's my encouragement to you. Who would like to go into a little clearing? We're going to clear away some of that anxiety energy from all of us so that we can create from a clear filter. We're just going to wipe those glasses, whatever you got on you. We're going to wipe it clear so you can see. Imagine this third eye getting a total cleanse so that you can just see what it is and see a perfect path to get there. So let's go into some imagination for a second for anyone that wants to join me there. I see some more of you have popped in. If I didn't say hi and I missed you, I'm saying hi now. It's okay. Enjoy this for just a second. Everyone's like, how do I clear my chakras? How do I get out of this anxiety? How do I find peace? How do I meditate? I saw someone say that yesterday. I'm like, okay, here, come on. Let's do this together. Meditation is not scary. It's not evil. It's just stopping for a few minutes in stillness. So we're going to be still for a second, okay? Put your feet down. Feel the energy in your feet. It's like you're all big empaths. You know what that energy feels like in your heart. Makes your heart keep pumping. You feel that love energy. Now you take that love energy and you push it to your feet. What does that feel like? Suddenly your feet feel kind of warm and tingly, don't they? Like, oh, interesting. That's you. You just did that. You pushed your energy into your feet. And they are now connecting to the earth, creating this beautiful bond. So you're attached and safe and grounded perfectly. And keep breathing. Calling in Archangel Michael. Calling in all the magic today. Bring in all. Let's call in Saint Germain too. Saint Germain is Merlin. He's lived many lifetimes. He's an ascended master who has lived many lifetimes. One of his lifetimes was as Merlin. So we're calling in your most magical self today, Saint Germain. Bring it in. Show us the magic. So we've got this beautiful gathering. We're going to the fairy tale forest today. All of us together. So there you stand. Your feet are firmly planted. And if you look down at your feet, you might even see that they're shaped differently. You got fairy feet or troll feet, or whatever you'd like to see. You might be a giant. You might be a little tiny elf. See it however you'd like to see it. And then kind of see yourself looking up. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What kind of magical garment? I see a lot of fairies. Beautiful. Little wings on your backs. Every color of the rainbow. And as we stand here together, I'm not sure why we're just standing because we could fly. Just pick yourself up. Go ahead and fly a little bit. Jump up, just flap those wings. We'll just kind of fly together, just like Tinkerbell. Just flying in circles. Enjoying the energy that blows into our wings. Just play. And use your imagination now. imagine, what do you see? Tall trees, waterfalls, butterflies, dragonflies. You can hop on a dragonfly's back if you like. They fly fast. You might want to go really fast. Maybe you see some flying horses. Just enjoy it. This is meditation. It's just being still, seeing the unseen, letting yourself go into a magical place for just a few minutes. And as you're spending time there, we're calling in Archangel Raphael for any healing. Archangel Michael is already here. So Archangel Michael, for anyone that's watching now or at any point in the future, we're asking for a perfect clearing of their energy fields. Any hooks, ties, cords, attachments, any curses, spells, any soul contracts, any old karma, anything that we can release at this time, please take it away as we allow. So it's up to each one of us to let go of that heavy baggage today. Working through the anxiety of this ascension, helping these little egos of ours to better accept the changes that are coming forth. Letting go, releasing that energy where you've got it all stopped up inside of you. Those tight shoulders, that space between your eyebrows, your neck, lower back, in your legs and in your feet, in your hands, in your arms. You know you do it. You brace always. You're always bracing for the next big shoe to fall. You don't need a brace right now. You can just release that energy. Let go. Open your hands. Relax your feet. Relax your shoulders. Take a big breath. Releasing all energy that no longer serves us. Anything that's creating disease in our bodies, we're releasing, letting go. Releasing all anxiety, all fear. And as we're letting go, our little wings are flapping and we're going higher and higher into the sky. I see fireflies. They're just lighting everything up, these beautiful little flashes of light. It's evening time, it's dark out. The air is a little cool on your face. Feels very refreshing. As you fly around looking, what are you looking for? Who are you looking for? Is there somebody that you're missing right now? Whether they're still here in physical form or whether they've stepped out of physical, they're here for you. You can go visit them. Go spend some time with them. Let them feel your energy. Beautiful. Isn't it nice? You let them feel your energy and you get their energy right back. It feels so good. Perfect exchange of energy. You are so safe right now, so protected. Just enjoy that. I see a castle. We're flying over a beautiful castle. The grass is so green below. There's a little road that curves up all the way up. The castle's on a hill. And we're flying over a bridge. It's got a moat underneath it. There's some happy little alligators down there. And we fly up over and then we can fly right in the window or right in the big door. It's open wide. And it's a beautiful castle. It's magical, enchanted. Everything's alive here. What are you seeing? Where are you going to go? There's a garden. This castle has the most amazing garden. Flowers like you wouldn't believe. Rose bushes and pink peonies. I love pink peonies. They smell delicious. Lilac bushes and lavender. I see a lot of purples and pinks, yellows and blues. Just fly over and take a big breath. Bees are buzzing around doing their work. Butterflies are flying. We might see some hummingbirds buzzing past your face. They kind of buzz down and they look right at you and stop right in front of you like a little helicopter. Bzzz. How sweet. There are all these beautiful colors. Everything is so vibrant and alive here, peaceful. You might find a bedroom, a beautiful bedroom in the castle with a soft bed, 4 posters. It's got a curtain that pulls around it where you can just lay down and rest as long as you need to rest. Everything smells so good. Food cooking down in the kitchen. You got a hot tea right beside you. Hot coffee, whatever you'd like. And they're just serving you, reminding you that you are royal blood, that you are special, unique, amazing. And they're thanking you for coming to the earth and for being physical, for taking on that robe, that heavy, heavy robe of physicality. They say, let me lighten it for you. May I? And you say, yes, please. And they lighten it up. They bring you, they take that heavy robe away. And they bring you this silky garment that just slides over your skin. It feels like liquid sunshine. Thanking you. Giving you newness, recreating yourself. See yourself as brand new right now. Lighter. It's not so heavy anymore. All of a sudden, everything looks easier. Nice. I see some of you stepping into this beautiful pool or stairs that go down gently, and the water is so blue and it's the perfect temperature. And you just step down in and you lay down and just float. Swim, whatever you'd like to do. It feels so nice to be here. The colors are so beautiful. The greens are so green. The blues are so blue. The flowers are so vibrant. The birds are all colorful. Everything is just perfect here. To your greatest imagination, that's what you see. And there's an abundance, no shortages. They don't even know what scarcity is. It's all abundant. Whatever you like, it's free for the taking. If you like cheesecake, it won't hurt you. You can have cheesecake. Cheeseburger, French fries, whatever you like. Just imagine it and it comes to you. And I want you to gather up whatever energy you'd like to take from this place. Come away loaded full of beautiful energy, remembering that this place is always available to you. Always. You don't have to wait for the next playground. You can come back to this beautiful castle anytime you like. Lots of clearing energy right now. I'm holding it because the angels are working to clear away some heaviness in each one of us. So we're just taking our time. Just be at peace here. If you're feeling that energy moving through your body, it's just Archangel Raphael, all of his team of angels helping you to lighten up today. Up through that throat, into the third eye. Opening it up, clearing it away. Archangel Gabriel, come on in for some clarity today, helping us to get ourselves just cleared up. The storm of emotions that is inside of us, just getting it cleared away so that we can see more clearly, know who we really are, see our path as it lays out before us, and know what we're here to do. All the way up through the crown now. Source energy coming in, pouring beautiful, unconditional love down through your crown, down through the third eye, flushing quickly, down into the throat, away with all the disease and blocked energy, just flushing right out down through, goes down through your heart, and it's picking up speed, gathering anything that's left over, any residual energy, all the way down through the solar plexus, cleaning house, down through the second sacral, and through the root, and all the way down your legs, and all the way down into your feet. And open up your hands and let it flood right out your hands too. Letting it go. If it's not serving you, you don't need to hold it. Let it go. Going all the way into the earth, and the earth recycles it. So as soon as it goes down, it gets all the darkness turns into light and love. And it comes back up and into your root system. And as it hits your root system, I want you to pull them all the way back up into your feet, bringing all that light and love and beautiful, new, refreshed energy back into your body. Feel those roots come back up in. Pull them all the way in now. And then feel your feet. Feel the energy in your feet again. And pull that energy all the way back up into your body. Beautiful. Very nice. Excellent. Well done. Closing up that crown chakra, allowing you to feel whole, complete, perfectly safe. Asking Archangel Michael to come in and protect you completely, fully today. Beautifully. You have a beautiful bubble of protection around you. Well done. Come fully back into your physical, opening up your eyes, thanking Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Uriel, Saint Germain. Thank you for all that fun, that beautiful flying through the castles. Well done. That was beautiful. Thank you, all of your higher selves, and to all of you for joining me today. That was really beautiful. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is Friday. I usually take Fridays off. I usually take Saturdays off. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it when you come popping in, sharing it out so other people can have that quiet time too. That's perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I will talk to you again later. Bye for now.